What's going on? Nate Gaschler here. Today we're going to be taking a look at Malik Willis. And a little while ago with my Matt Corral film session, I said that I don't think he had the potential to be a top 10 quarterback. I didn't really think any of the quarterbacks in the draft had the potential to be a top 10 quarterback. And then I got a hold of about 10 Malik Willis games. I watched most of them. And all 22 rather than just broadcast, and my opinion has changed. I think Malik Willis is the one quarterback in this class that has the potential to be that dude. But at the same time, there's a ton of stuff that Malik Willis needs to improve on as a player before he's able to be that dude. And in an age where we have the Super Bowl between two first overall picks that are able to elevate their teams in the ways that they were able to, with above average to elite play, it puts the emphasis on you need a very good quarterback, or a good quarterback at least, to get to that point as a football team. And I think Malik Willis can accomplish that for you. I watch a lot of Malik Willis, and I see a lot of Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen in him. I'm not saying that he's Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. But I see the ability that he has that is reminiscent of those guys coming out. And if he gets a good QB coach, anything can happen. So there's a lot of good to Malik Willis and there's a lot of bad. We'll get into the bad a little bit later. But starting with the good, you've got this play right here. Malik Willis is just going to show off his rushing ability. I only have two plays in here because it's pretty self-explanatory how good of a rusher Malik Willis is. And this one is a very good example of that. He's able to drop back and then use his elusiveness and rushing ability to get extra yards after the play, right? So he's going to feel the pressure out. And again, he just has very good vision. He's able to go find plays that not a lot of quarterbacks can make. And this is a crazy run because he's not only able to go this way first, realize the pressure's coming, and then turn back out this way. He's able to break a couple of tackles on the way, right there, stay up, and then keep moving down the field, and that's a huge gain, and you can do a lot as a quarterback with those type of plays. Malik Willis is very good at it. You see a lot of the dual quarterback revival in Lamar Jackson, I like to call it, because the dual quarterback experiment was kind of on the decline until you had Lamar Jackson revolutionize it. Now you have guys like Jalen Hurts, Deshaun Watson when he's healthy, Daniel Jones, people like Josh Allen who are able to use their athleticism and dual threat ability to make a lot of these types of plays happen. And Malik Willis has that. He's able to scramble, get outside of the pocket, and use his legs to be able to create plays like that. And that's a very valuable trait to have. And oftentimes when I see Malik Willis make throws, it almost looks like he's playing backyard football. He doesn't put a lot of effort into his throws. He has the natural arm and arm strength to be able to get the ball down the field quite easily. And I think this is a great example of it right here. We're going to see Malik Willis just casually toss a 25-yard bomb down the field to this receiver, and it's dead on, right? Like, this is a crazy play, not only because of the arm strength and the velocity, but because he's just casually chucking it, right? He just kind of sees it and moves. Let's watch the cartel view and see how his mechanics are. That's a pretty inconsistent area of Malik Willis. We're going to see Malik Willis's foot when he takes his step pointed this way. Ideally, you want it pointed towards the receiver going this way. The release is a little wonky, and then where he picks his back leg up so far. I don't love that, but that pass is dead on, right? You don't see a lot of ball placement like that from a quarterback coming out of college. I think Malik Willis do that pretty consistently down the field, especially on deep and intermediate type passes. He can create that big playability. One thing I don't love is, let's watch his helmet. Where is he looking with the football? He turns right to his receiver, eyes in on him, and you have three defenders around here who have read the play and realize that it's going to him. It's two other defenders right here. This safety's already halfway across trying to help him out. Still, though, pinpoint ball placement, amazing play, good arm, good velocity on the throw, just a really good play all around, but he has these inconsistencies that he's going to need to clean up. And as passers, we want to find these high percentage throws where you can make a lot of the times and gain yards. This is a pretty unconventional type of high percentage throw. Not a lot of quarterbacks can make these throws at a very good rate. Malik Willis does this very well. We just saw in the last play, he was able to jet the ball down from, another 25-yard pass, just about. Able to move the ball downfield 25 yards pretty consistently, and Willis does that really well. One thing I don't love is watch his back leg, this leg right here. I don't love that, right? That is just not great mechanics. It really impacts the body movements of your throw, where your shoulders are going at the end of it, and it can lead to inaccuracies. Luckily for Willis, it doesn't, and that's like kind of crazy to think about, that you have a receiver like that, or a quarterback like that, who's able to use such terrible mechanics and play with such great accuracy. And that play is really just a good job of being able to get his receiver open down the field, attack the zone defense. You have, well, I guess I don't really know what the look is here. I don't know what this corner's doing, but he's still able to attack in that seam and that window right there. Throws with decent anticipation. He kind of stops and just waits for it. I don't think it's a go route. I think it's more of a comeback or a deep hitch. But he still does a very good job of placing it right on the receiver and being able to get it downfield for a big-time first down. Just some of those high percentage throws that Malik Willis makes is kind of a crazy. Now, this play right here is really just so telling to me about how Malik Willis has been developed as a college quarterback. Great escapability. He's able to get outside of the pocket when he feels pressure and keep going. But he takes a sack here. And I don't love the fact that he takes a sack here, because let's watch where his receivers are going. At this point, he has two guys that he may be able to hit in the crossing route of the field. You have a drag route coming across this side of the field, and you have this guy running to wherever he's running to. Willis feels the pressure out, gets outside of the pocket, and when the pressure's, not even before he does the spin, or not even after he does the spin move. Let's figure out right here. You have a receiver on the break, wide open right here. Why don't you throw it to him? There's nobody covering him. 7 is the closest guy, and he doesn't know that he's behind him, it seems like. Throw the ball there and get a high percentage throw across the field. He's calling for the football. And that's the things that Malik Willis doesn't notice, and it gets really, really irritating as an evaluator. Like, he wasn't taught how to make that progression. It seems like his one read was on this side of the field, and when that broke down, he didn't know where to take the football. He saw the receiver in the middle of the field, but he didn't process it and make that read. That's what I'm missing from Malik Willis. That is what Malik Willis needs to improve on mentally. Like I said, let's watch his helmet here. We're going to see him look to this side of the field. He looks like he's staring this guy down. He moves outside of the pocket. He stays this way, and then he's going to look over this way. He sees that these receivers are right here. Even this play is probably a tough play to make, especially if you're on the opposite hash. But you could he has the arm to make that throw. This play you could definitely make. This drag or this hitch or whatever, easy dump off, easy 10 yards and a first down because there's nobody around him. And he just doesn't recognize that, and he doesn't make a read. Instead, he makes a spin move and puts himself more into danger from this edge rusher right here coming off. These are the plays that I need to see improvement from Malik Willis, and these are the plays that I get really worried about. I love the escapability and I love the mobility, but you need to go make a pass, and I think this is a common theme to Willis's film. He just gets flustered and doesn't progress through his reads and doesn't make a pass and ends up taking a sack like this. Now, 4 plays later, we see this type of play from Malik Willis. Another great pass. Right on the money, and that's a touchdown. It's just stunning to me sometimes about how Malik Willis is as a quarterback. There are times when he just frustrates you and irritates you on tape, and there are times where he just amazes you, and this is one of the times where he amazes you. This is the Malik Willis experience. I love this type of play. I mean, right on the back shoulder, perfect throw, good anticipation, way to get him open, way to throw to a very tight window. You're going to take advantage of a free play like that off the offsides. That's how you do it. And I don't love the one progression thing or whatever. It is what it is. But that's still an amazing throw that he's able to make almost effortlessly. And I think this play is very telling of the one-read system that Malik Willis plays in and how it serves to his detriment. We're going to see Malik Willis force a really bad ball on a slant here, right? He throws it into a bad coverage because this corner has leverage on the route the entire time. Right, we're going to see him right here. He's on top of the route. He has leverage to be able to break this and ultimately intercept this. Malik Willis's eyes, if you go back and watch his eyes, don't move anywhere else outside of that slant. But if we pause it once he throws the ball, right there, you have a flat open. right there. And you have, I don't know if this running back is going to come out and leak out. That is what it is. But still, this flat is wide open and should be able to get you a first down because he has good separation on this corner. If you just wait a second and then turn your head, you're going to be able to find that and make the best read. The one read system that Malik Willis plays in him limits him from this. I feel like his head coach told him that receiver is going to be open, throw to that receiver. That receiver is going to be open, throw to that receiver. He doesn't allow Malik Willis to take the time to look around and make his progressions, and Malik Willis has never learned that. And I can't put it on the guy. It's a weakness for Malik Willis, but I can't put it on him as a player of not being able to figure that out. I'd like it to improve, and I think it should improve once he gets into an NFL offense and is taught how to do that. But that is a major one that this really stuck out to me because this flat, this out route, this 5-yard out route is wide open. And if he just turned his head, he'd see that and make a play. And this play right here, again, exemplifies the poor mechanics that I feel like Malik Willis possesses, but the way he's able to overcome them. Let's check it out. He's just going to take a simple drop. You see his foot is positioned this way, and he's taking the ball this way. The importance of positioning your foot to where you want it to go, as quarterbacking 101 is, your foot is going to follow where your hips and shoulders ultimately go through, which makes the pass more accurate. Malik Willis just doesn't place his foot in the right spot, and that's your first problem. The second problem you're going to see is his throwing motion. I don't like how he goes down, sideways, and up. You really want your quarterback to just go up and through. Malik Willis doesn't do that here, as we're going to take another look at it. And this is just my big problem, right? He's going to go down right there, sideways, and then up. That just elongates your throwing motion. Doesn't really make it, it doesn't really build that potential energy up of being able to just load it and then throw it. Instead, you're loading it and then throwing it. I don't love to see that. And then finally, you're going to see your follow through. His back leg picks up so much that it throws his body off target and really just kind of pushes this ball. Usually pushes the ball to the right, or it would be the right wherever he's throwing his body because that back leg is picking up so much. Still, it's a pinpoint accuracy throw, and you don't see many of these from other quarterbacks around the league. And this is just a great example of how Malik Willis is able to overcome that. And I remember a certain Texas Tech quarterback was able to overcome mechanical inconsistencies like that a long time ago, and he's turned out to be pretty great. And Malik Willis loves going for these deep throws a lot. Sometimes they can be errant. Most of the time, these ones that I've been showing you have been very accurate. Most of his other throws are very accurate, but you can have a couple errant throws like this one. What I don't like about this one is he's just throwing it up to throw it up. He's locking onto his one read, throws a bad ball, and any better safety with more range than this UAB individual is going to be able to run over and intercept that pretty easily with good range. What Malik Willis I prefer to have him do is, if this isn't open, which it's not, this corner's kind of draped over him, look down, find this drag and pick it up, because there's nothing but open field in front of him, and that'd be an easy first down, or at least a quick second or third down conversion, just because there's so much open space right here. Instead, he's going to force the ball into a bad place, bad decision here, and I love the arm strength, I love the arm velocity, whatnot, but I'd really like him to do a better job of, if that's not open, going to your second read and figuring it out, because that drag was wide open, and I would have taken that drag all day if I was an OC there, trying to teach Malik Willis how to go through his progressions. And to kick off the Middle Tennessee game, he throws an absolute dime here, and there's so many reasons that this is a great throw, but let's just check it out first. Right on the money for a touchdown to open things up. What I love about this, he's going to get a nice deep drop, find his guy. He's going to take a hit here. I wonder if we can see it better in the other angle. He's going to take a big hit here while he's throwing it. The poise to see that, yep, he takes the hit at the end. But the poise to keep his eyes downfield while that pressure is coming at him and locate that receiver is really, really good. And another thing about the fall through and the mechanical problems, right? We're going to see it happen right here. Notice how his foot went from right here where the ball ends up going to right here, because of his follow through is so long, and it really just pushes his entire body to the left. That's what I was talking about earlier that I think is a problem with him. I think he needs to get that under control mechanically. But still, a great throw, perfect accuracy, really just put him right on the money here. And to be able to keep your eyes downfield with that pressure coming at you and being able to deliver a ball like that, you don't see that from a lot of quarterbacks around the league. Like I've been saying this entire time, he's a special talent. And part of the reason some of these quarterbacks are finding success on the modern day, these Patrick Mahomes, these Joe Burrows, these Russell Wilsons, is because they can use their legs to run around and make off-script plays. You see that a lot from Joe Burrow. When he gets pressure from the right side, which is essentially a revolving door, he's able to move around and be able to find a guy downfield. Malik Willis is very reminiscent of this in that aspect, right? He's going to be able to see his first read is going to be on this side. He sees the pressure. He's going to have to move out of the way and improvise downfield. He gets on the run, and he delivers an amazing football down the field to number 3 here. It takes your breath away, honestly. Some of these plays that he's able to make, that is an incredible play. And the off-platformness of this throw just makes it all the more better of being able to throw on the run like that and deliver that good of a football. But the big thing to hammer home on this one is the improvisation ability. He's able to get outside of the pocket, get a receiver downfield, and be able to push the ball downfield to get to him. That's the Malik Willis at top potential. This is a NFL throw through and through that he can definitely make right now. I just need to see more development out of him so he can do it more consistently when there's a script in place. And I haven't talked much about arm strength yet in this video. I think I mentioned it once. This is the only play you need to watch to understand his arm strength, and I'll tell you why. I mean, from the 10 to the 30. That's a 55-ish yard play. And he just does it really, really well down the field. Perfect accuracy, perfect placement. Those are the type of plays that just take your breath away. To be able to get it down the field that far, I mean, it's just crazy, man. Like, he's an insane talent, and this is just one example why. And like I said, this is really the only play you need to know to understand his arm strength. You've been seeing him air it out 25, 30 yards down the field every play. This is one of those, which, I mean, just the top-end talent right there. That's just crazy arm strength type of play. I'll take that out of my quarterbacks, a gunslinger like that. Interception here. You don't love to see it, but I mean, again, it goes right back to the one read thing, the forcing balls into bad plays. This is not a great play to throw the ball into. Your receiver is not getting too much separation here, and if you and I mean, it's a good ball. He has to stop a little bit, which I don't love, but giving the corner a little bit of time to catch up and make that interception. But it's a good ball downfield, but you can't force it into that little separation. A lot of these other balls that he's been throwing have had good separation behind him, and NFL receivers are going to get that separation, but it's more so these types of plays that just that shoot yourself in the foot there, especially when you had this guy right here. If you turned your eyes and looked around, you would see number 3 was wide open here on this hitch, or this hook route rather. And again, just like the opportunities that are presented themselves by Malik Willis's bad throws, the opportunities that are around him that he could have made, just show that like he's just so unrefined mentally, and he's going to need to figure out this processing ability and not being able to just stare down one side of the field. It's daunting, and it's definitely a project, but he can figure it out. And plays like these show me that he's still going to need to work on that, though. And again, man, like I have mentioned many times prior to this, the indecisiveness from Malik Willis is going to get him killed. This is a great example why, right? His primary read is over here. This guy's open. He can get the ball to him. This guy's open. This guy's open. This guy is working on getting open, right? I mean, he definitely has the separation he needs, but he instead gets flustered by the pressure. The pressure gets into his face, and once he looks off that one read, he isn't able to find anybody else and just gets killed. Like, he could sit here, stand tall right here when he turns around and hit this check down real quick. But instead, he's going to try and escape, lose sight of where his receivers are on the field and take a sack. Again, the indecisiveness I don't love. He could easily make this throw right here, while this receiver is breaking out, but he doesn't, and he has to look around because he feels pressure coming and eventually takes the sack. That's what I'm talking about with the indecisiveness. I need him to figure it out. I need him to look around and be able to make plays before he takes that sack. And this is just a good example as to where that happens and how he needs to fix it. And through the duration of this film session, I've been focusing primarily on a lot of the deep passes just because they're flashy and make big plays, but I don't want to make it seem like he only hits deep passes. He hits a lot of intermediate and short passes. This is a good example of it. He's going to take his check down, decide not to throw it, and he's going to find a good intermediate pass right here to number 3 across the middle of the field. I love a play like that because he's able to just kind of stay patient and diagnose the coverage. Doesn't do it a ton, but again, he shows the potential to be able to and continue to work on that and improve that on the next level. And he does a good job of placing a ball intermediate-wise down the field. That's about 10 yards, 15 yards down the field. That's a good throw, and he's able to use that to get yard and throw it into an area where this number 3 receiver is able to use his legs and get an ability to get yards after the catch. Really good throw from Malik Willis all around, and it shows that he can make these types of plays. And the last play to show off his mobility is going to be this one. Just going to be able to use his scrambling ability to move, get outside of the pocket, and then make a play. Makes a guy miss, makes another guy miss. He's able to just run for a simple first down. Sometimes all you need is a first down. Moving the sticks does a lot for an offense and is going to keep giving it steam. Malik Willis can do that if the pocket breaks down because of his legs and his ability to run and make these types of plays. I love that about Malik Willis, and I love that he's able to use his mobility and his legs as his second aspect. I don't think you can be in the modern NFL as a quarterback and not at least have a little bit of athleticism to you. There's a guy in this class, Carson Strong, doesn't have much athleticism. I don't see him projecting well just because he's a statue in the pocket. He can't move around and make these types of plays that Malik Willis can, or a Matt Corral can, or even a Kenny Pickett can. So just kind of it helps his case a lot, the mobility piece. There's a lot of good to Malik Willis, but then again, you get the good, the bad, and the ugly. And this is the ugly. This is one of the worst throws I've seen from him in terms of as a passer. I mean, you're just broadcasting your way to the field. You don't even look at the receiver until very end. Doesn't take in any of his surroundings, any of the diagnosing of coverage. He just fakes it there, and he's going to throw a pick, a super easy pick for the safety. It's just, again, like, man, you got to be able to learn how to diagnose and read these coverages. And Malik Willis, a lot of his throws leave me speechless because a lot of them are so good. And then a lot of these throws leave me banging my fist on my desk because he makes these terrible throws like this that lead to just shoot yourself in the foot moments and boneheaded mistakes. He needs to cut these out because he can be an elite top 10 quarterback very quickly in this league because he has so many of these tools, but it's just so frustrating to watch him struggle so bad mentally. And again, I think Liberty does him as an offense does him a disservice of not teaching him how to read these coverages in place. I don't think it's all on him. He could certainly do better at kind of going off script from the Liberty offense and trying to do that, but this play is a really good example of how he just does not read the coverage and lets an interception like that happen. Needs to improve on that front. So in a weak quarterback class, a lot of people are looking for a savior, looking for a number one option. And people have looked at Kenny Pickett, and they've looked at him and said, I think you're the number one option. People have looked at Matt Corral, and they've said, I think you're the number one option. For me, after reevaluating the film, Malik Willis is far and away the number one option. The potential that he has, I don't think a lot of people understand how good Malik Willis could be. Because there's so much that he still has to do to improve as a quarterback in order for him to do that. I think there are times when Malik Willis just doesn't know how to play the quarterback position. He's just out there throwing a football. He's not passing a football. I think that Malik Willis needs to learn how to figure out his eyes and figure out how to mentally dissect a football field. I think he needs to watch more film and learn from a better coach than the Liberty head coach, which I believe is Hugh Freeze. Nothing against Hugh Freeze. He's cool. But I think he needs to do a much better job of being able to figure out how a defense works, how to target different players and reads and whatnot, and he needs to figure all that out. And last of all, he needs to figure out the mechanics. I worry a lot about the mechanics, and I've seen Patrick Mahomes succeed with the lack of mechanics, and that's cool. But I mean, Patrick Mahomes is a one-off example. I don't think Malik Willis is going to be the next Patrick Mahomes. I think he could be a very good quarterback, but for now, I think he should go high. Like, he's not going to be your number one overall type of safe prospect, like a Trevor Lawrence or a Joe Burrow, but he's definitely going to be a gamble player. And I don't think he may have, if he starts immediately, I don't think he's going to have a good rookie year. I'll just come out and say it right now. It's going to take 3 to 4 years for this opinion on Malik Willis to be validated, because I don't think he's going to have a very good first couple years. So, that being said, I still think he could be a very good quarterback on the next level. If you enjoyed this one, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. This is a big special feature for me, and I really had a lot of fun dissecting the film and trying to make this, create this video for you guys. So make sure to like and subscribe, share if you can. I'd appreciate all of that. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll have more and more film coming as the draft gets more and more closer. And if you haven't checked out at GDN_scouting on Instagram, be sure to do so. That's where you can find all of my other stuff. So again, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Peace out.